The first time I watched a human die screaming my name, I finally understood fear, and it broke something inside me that could never be repaired. I am Kale of the 13 Continuum, bred for war, sculpted by logic and armored against emotion. Or so I believed. When the sky above Earth burned violet and the Rift Armada descended, my kind arrived not as conquerors, but as allies. A temporary pact. A strategic necessity. That was the official language. The truth was uglier. Humans were never supposed to be on the battlefield with us. They were deemed fragile, volatile, inefficient. And yet, when the Rift creatures tore through the upper atmosphere, like screaming gods, it was humans who ran toward the fire. That should have been my first warning. The city of New Jakarta was already dying when we made planetfall. Towers leaned like broken bones. Ash fell in slow, quiet snow. My squad deployed in perfect formation, weapons humming, shields synchronized. Beside us, the human 7th Mechanized stumbled into position, their breathing loud in my audio sensors, their heart rates erratic. They were terrified, and still they stayed. I remember Lieutenant Mara Vance clearly. Her armor was scarred, her helmet cracked, but her eyes, those impossible human eyes, burned with defiance. She looked at me, the alien giant at her side, and grinned through blood. "Guess we're in this together," she said. I did not understand why that mattered. Not yet. The Rift Beasts came without warning, entities of folding geometry and shrieking light. My targeting systems locked instantly. We fired in flawless unison. Humans fired too, clumsy but relentless. The ground shook. Time fractured. Then a human screamed. Private Ellis. His leg was gone. Not severed. Erased. He reached for me, fingers grasping at my armor, eyes wide with a terror no data feed could quantify. "Kale," he cried, "don't let me die." I froze. That hesitation lasted 0.7 seconds. In my culture, that is an eternity. By the time I moved, he was already gone. Something inside my neural lattice misfired. An error cascade. I logged it for later analysis. But later never came. The battle raged for hours. We pushed the rift back street by street. Humans adapted faster than projected, improvising tactics, sacrificing themselves without hesitation. They dragged wounded allies through hellfire. They screamed. They cursed. They laughed. They felt everything. And somehow, that made them stronger. Every few minutes, another impossible moment unfolded. A human pilot rammed her fighter into a rift spire, knowing she wouldn't survive. A medic shielded an alien, me, from a blast meant for her, shattering her spine. As she died, she apologized. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I couldn't move fast enough." None of us were prepared for that. By nightfall, the city was silent. Too silent. My sensors detected no movement, but my instincts knew unwanted, screamed danger. The humans felt it too. They always did. That was when the sky opened again. A rift leviathan descended, blotting out the stars. Our weapons barely scratched it. Human morale plummeted. I calculated a 92% casualty rate within minutes. Lieutenant Vance looked at me, eyes steady. "We're not leaving," she said. "Not while civilians are still trapped underground." I told her it was illogical. I told her survival probability. I told her the math. She smiled sadly. "Yeah," she said. That's what makes us human. What I saw next changed everything. As the Leviathan advanced, humans began singing, a low, broken song, voices shaking but united. My translator struggled, then resolved the words. A song about home. The rift creature recoiled. I did not understand why sound, primitive, unoptimized, could cause such a reaction, but the data was undeniable. The Leviathan hesitated. Its form destabilized. The humans pressed forward. Then the truth hit me like a planetary impact. The rift were not invading Earth. They were fleeing it. At the story's midpoint, everything shattered. My command uplink activated without warning. High continuum override. Classified data flooded my mind. Earth was not a battlefield. It was a prison. Long ago, humans had discovered something buried deep beneath their planet's crust. A resonance. A frequency that caused existential collapse in higher dimensional beings. The rift were drawn to it, addicted, terrified. Human emotion amplified the resonance. Fear, love, sacrifice, horror. Earth was a weapon, and we had come to secure it. I looked at Lieutenant Vance, at the exhausted soldiers around me, and understood the betrayal unfolding in real time. My fleet was preparing orbital sterilization to contain the anomaly, to erase humanity. I tried to warn them. My transmission was blocked. The Leviathan surged again, desperate now, not attacking but begging in patterns of light and sound. My translators caught fragments. Please, silence the pain. The humans heard only a monster. The final battle erupted in chaos. My kind fired on the rift and, secretly, targeted human infrastructure. Humans noticed. Confusion turned to rage. Vance confronted me, weapon raised. What aren't you telling us? I hesitated again, but this time I chose differently. I told her everything. She listened, really listened. When I finished, she lowered her weapon, hands trembling. So we're the bad guys? She asked quietly. No, I said. You are dangerous. She laughed. A broken, exhausted sound. Yeah, we get that a lot. The fleet countdown began. 10 minutes to annihilation. Vance made a choice that defied every survival instinct. She ordered all human units to concentrate emotional output. Fear, hope, love, rage, everything. Sing, she commanded. Scream. Remember why you're alive. The resonance spiked beyond all projections. The Rift Leviathan screamed, not in pain, but in release. It dissolved into light, its addiction broken. Across the globe, Rift signatures vanished. The fleet panicked. Their weapons malfunctioned. Human emotion had turned the weapon inward. I made my final choice. I severed my uplink and redirected the fleet's fire into deep space. It would be seen as treason. I would be hunted, but Earth was safe. For now, the aftermath was quiet. Dawn broke over ruins and survivors. Humans mourned their dead with rituals I cannot fully comprehend, but I stayed. I stood with them. Lieutenant Vance approached me one last time. You didn't have to, she said. I did, I replied, because now I feel. She smiled. Welcome to the horror. Years later, I am in exile, drifting beyond known space. My kind fears Earth now. They whisper its name like a curse. As for me, I remember the humans, their songs, their screams, their impossible courage. And I know this truth burned into my core. The universe should be grateful humans choose to be kind, because if they ever stop, nothing will survive what they feel.